Hey everybody, and welcome back. Today we are talking about photographers in our wedding vlogs today. So this is kind of exciting. We have not picked our photographer yet, and the reason is we're doing ours on a really tight budget. We're doing ours on a really tight budget. So we don't have a lot of money, so we're trying to cut back where we can. And it's funny actually, one of our groomsmen and one of our bridesmaids are really good photographers. So it kind of sucks because we can't use them because they're in our wedding party. So we are hiring a wedding photographer for just the ceremony, and I think that after that, for like the reception and stuff, we are just gonna do our own and like collect candid photos from everybody and such, because I'm not one for really formal photographs. Like, it's nice to have a few, and that's what the whole like photography moment after the wedding is for. But other than that, I just want to have fun, and I just want to have it like a relaxed feeling, and candid photos do that, and you still get all the great memories with photos that are more natural than photos that have been edited and stuff. And so that's really why I only want to have like a half photographer, so that will cut back our budget as well. And if you're trying to save money, definitely consider something like that, because it is an option. So that's what I have for you. But because we are still getting a photographer of someone we don't know, you always have to make sure you're asking a billion questions, and for a legit reason. I don't know if any of you guys have ever watched like a show like Judge Joe Brown or something, and I know that a lot of them are edited and stuff, but there is some cases on there that you see where people are suing wedding photographers for not getting their photos or having the photos turn out like garbage, and you hear the horror stories too. So I go on wedding vlogs all the time, and I see all these blogs posting, oh, like, I had a terrible time, our photographer was terrible, they took the worst photos and all that other stuff. So you hear all the nightmares. So your best bet to prevent that is, one, go with someone who is recommended to you by a personal friend or family member, and you have seen their portfolio or things like that, because those are the people you really want to trust. If that is not an option for you, then definitely go to a reliable source. So something like the has a bunch of registered photographers. Again, though, that they might have paid their way into that advertisement, so you just gotta be careful for things like that as well. So I actually wrote down a whole list of questions that you guys should probably ask your photographer to get to know them a little bit better and to make sure that you're making the right choices. Okay, so let's start with one. The obvious, and then, I mean, it's obvious, it's just so obvious, is, are they available for your date? Right? If they're not available for your date, are you willing to change your date for a photographer? Depends. Really depends. If you really, really want that photographer, some people are. How far in advance do you need to be booked? So some photographers have different lengths of time in which you need to book in advance, especially during wedding seasons. So wedding seasons up here in Ontario usually run from about May to September. And if you have weddings anywhere in between those times, you usually need almost a year in advance, to be honest, depending on if you have a really famous or high-end photographer. And that's just something that you need to realize. So if you're in wedding season, try to book your photographer as soon as possible. Okay. Where else? Oh yeah. How long have you been in business, and can you see their portfolio? So again, another really important scenario. You want to see what work they've done. Do you like the way that they shoot like photographs? Because a lot of people shoot photographs very differently. It's an art form, right? So photography is an art, and some people do it differently, and some people like different things and how they're shot. So take that into consideration. And length of business, if they're very new to the business, sometimes that's something to be leery of, but at the same time it might not be. One of my girlfriends who has just started her photography business, she's amazing. She's really, really good, but she has just started, so it's really hard for her to get off her feet because people want someone with a lot of experience. So again, that's kind of a toss-up, right? Again, another question, like, I should have added this in too, is like, how many weddings have they shot? Because not all photographers shoot weddings. You may have a really great photographer, but they shoot maybe a lot of sports events, or you have a photographer who does a lot of abstract, like visual shots and not a lot of portrait shots and stuff. So again, it's an art form that some photographers just specialize in different areas, and you just want to make sure that they're specializing in your wedding. So that's really important to know as well. How would you describe your working style, or how do you describe, like, ask them like how they work, like what type of photography do they feel that they're strong in? Like, are they strong in posed photography, or are they strong in more candid shot photography? Again, that goes along with the last thing that you ask them, but at the same time, it's also important to know, because yes, they may shoot a lot of weddings, that might be their specialty, but maybe their more specialty is in like candid shots rather than portrait, and that's just something you want to kind of know, right? What else? We've kind of covered things like that already. I don't want to repeat a lot of some of when I write down questions. Sometimes I repeat myself, and I'm like, okay, why did I repeat that? Because sometimes I write it really late at night. Oh my gosh. A list of references, actually. And this is important that they can give out references for you, and hopefully that they've collected some over their times of experience, because you want to be able to phone, and because I know you, like, if you go to their website and they have people quoting, oh yeah, they had great service, da 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 da, you don't know how many bad comments were made that got deleted. So you want to get a list of references that you can call people and ask them how they felt that photographer was, because yes, they may take really great photographs, but personally, that photographer might just suck. Like, they might be lazy. Maybe, like, for some weddings they only took like 60 pictures when the couple wanted like 600 pictures. Like, these are things you want to know, like what type of person they are. Like, are they a go-getter? Are they someone that's going to be motivated to take a lot of pictures, or are they going to just wait for the right moment? Like, you really need to know that sort of thing. And also, another good question is how are they shooting? Are they going to be shooting digitally, or are they going to be shooting on film? Because you need to know, you're paying, right? You're paying for it, so you need to know what type of form they're shooting their photos in. What else? We've kind of covered a lot already. Also, you want to do a walkthrough with them. If I haven't talked about this, I don't think so. A walkthrough of the venue, so both the ceremony and the reception area, and where you plan on getting your actual photography done, if it's in front of a church, or if it's in a field, or in a flower garden. Like, you want to take them a walk through and tell them what type of pictures you want. So at this point, you should also have a nice little list that you can give them of all the photos that you want. Like from cake cutting, you want like a certain amount of pictures of you guys cutting a cake. You want pictures of the first dances. You want pictures of you getting ready. All these sort of things they need to know. So at least in your contract is written of what pictures that you want, in case any legality issues do come up. And they do. Like, you can't always expect everything to be perfect. So be prepared by having all your paperwork done, having written down all the things that you wanted out of your photographer, including poses and everything else, and also helps them make sure that they don't forget anything. So not only on a legal issue, but also on a good kind of memory issue, because as human beings, we're not perfect. We don't remember everything. Having a list is really great, not just for you, but for them. So do they ask them if they have any backup equipment? And again, talking about problems and issues with weddings, not only for getting shots, but for getting equipment. Equipment breaks. Camera lenses break, lighting breaks, things like that break. If they're doing film, they might have some issues with the film. SD cards get ruined. Make sure that they have backup equipment ready to go, so that if there is problems at your wedding, they don't just go, oh, well, my stuff broke, I'm out, peace. And then you're left stranded with a photographer for the rest of your night. So be very, very careful. Ask them how many images are captured in the package that you're that you're going to buy or purchase. And this is important because you may think, oh, you're getting a great deal because it's only costing you $100 for the whole thing, and then you realize it's for 5 pictures. All they're going to take is 5 pictures, then they're done. So make sure you know how many pictures they're taking, and also how many hours that they plan on attending, because they sometimes do wedding packages by hours, and sometimes they do it by photographs taken. So you really need to figure out what they're doing it by, if they're doing it by both or just one of those methods. It's important to know. Sometimes you can get really good deals on engagement photos as well. I've already done my engagement photos and they are amazing. But you can also get them in a package deal with your ceremony and your reception photos. So ask them about that, inquire. Sometimes you can get a really good savings on it, and you might as well, right? And also ask how, like, again, ask the same questions for the engagement session. How long is it? How many photographs do you get? Is it one location? How many locations are included? Etc. So on and so forth. How many people will be photographing? Because sometimes you get great deals where you can get 2 people photographing your wedding for a really good price. Sometimes you get 1, and if you only have 1 photographer for like 300 people, sometimes it can be really overwhelming and they're missing some really good shots. So keep that in mind as well. Again, to know when your deposits and balances and all that other fun junk is due. You don't want to miss a payment deadline because they can automatically just cancel you like that, and then you're down in the dumps and you've lost out on something. I know that we have that with our reception hall, is we have to make payments at certain days, and if we don't, then our date isn't guaranteed. So that's just something to keep in mind. Also, you might want to know, for after the wedding, how long after the wedding are your proofs visible? Most of the time they have, for digital photographers, they have them available online for you to look at and pick through and whatnot. You want to know how far after your wedding that they're available for viewing. You don't have to wait 6 months for them. Oh, got hiccups or something. Again, yeah, finding out what's in your package, and while you're talking to your photographer, a good thing is to good thing to ask, actually, this is very important, is the person that you're interviewing, you're hoping is a photographer, but you want to make sure they're the one that is going to be attending your event. I've actually heard a lot of horror stories about this, where the bridesmaid hired this really great professional photographer, and the person that shows up to the wedding is their assistant, because they ended up like subbing out because maybe they had like 7 weddings booked that day, and everyone thinks it's going to be this one famous photographer, ends up being their little assistants. So ask them, make sure, is it them actually coming and performing the photos, and make sure that is in your contract, because when you get upset that they don't show up, you need the legalities to cover your butt later. So make sure you do that, and again, have fun. Make sure you like your photographer. Like, if you're very comfortable talking to them, then that's a really good sign. If you're very stiff and you're not sure of them and you're uneasy, any red flags go off about your photographer, run for the hills, because you're the one putting the down money on it, and you want to be able to trust these people, and that's so important. So yeah, just, I guess that's kind of, I'm trying to think of other questions that I haven't added, but I think I've kind of covered all the bases. If you guys have any more questions about photographers or anything, let me know, because there is a lot to do with them. And no, we haven't booked ours yet, but we are going to be in the process in September. So I've started my list and all that other stuff, and yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this wedding vlog. Remember, don't stress out. Photographers, they can be a little bit stressful. At the same time, they're supposed to capture the moments, one of the best moments of your life. So they are very important people, and treat them with respect as well, okay? And so I hope you guys enjoyed this wedding vlog, and we will see you guys next time. Bye!